All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Zoku Owarimonogatari, Episode 3. Well, we have met some new characters, and by new, I mean very, very, very different than how we remember them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which is my favorite. Well, okay, favorite...
For the wholesomeness, Oikura moves me, but I'm so happy to see Sengoku in a
Spitfire
anti-cute, just kind of like I do what I want kind of thing.
That's right.
Sha. Like it very much felt like a moment where she was kind of channeling that little bit of Shinobu energy, you know, just to be like
a little bit.
But instead it's you know, just like yes.
Yeah.
You fool.
Sengoku, what the ko? Yeah.
Yeah, Sengoku, what the ko?
Yeah, just hold on.
Right. Excuse me.
But I gotta say,
questions.
You know, talking about Oikura and the situation that, you know, she's in now, yes, it is indeed wholesome. Just the fact that I can hear you say those words about a situation where it's the, indirect kiss with Oni-chan.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
Yeah, that's
progress.
wholesome.
Yeah. Only in Monogatari.
Well, specifically because this is a thing that we have all like wanted to have a happy ending for Oikura, but we didn't get that.
At best, we got a moving on kind of ending.
It was the best that we could get, basically, for the situation as it stood. Yeah.
But this is just
She needs therapy.
Didn't even need to have all that stuff anyway. All that emotional healing and everything already happened, and you know, it's all good.
Aragi's parents were just awesome and saved her, ripped her out of that situation. So awesome. And now we need someone to rip Tsuruga out of the way of the door so we can find out what's going on
in the
with
reflection
the pool and how that will correlate back to what we had foreshadowed in Koyomi Monogatari.
Indeed. Now, hopefully, Senjigahara can help with that, because I would love to see what Hitagi looks like in this world. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But maybe they need someone with a bit more of a direct means of decoying. Yeah.
We'll see. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
What's this? Right. A true innovation.
Wow.
That is definitely the case, yeah.
Basically.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yotsugi. Right.
Yep. Right. Right. But it had finally been shown.
Right.
Yeah, her mischievous nature, yes.
Indeed.
Right, her actual age.
Officer.
Right, yep.
Right.
Right. Nice, nice. So that's the same either way.
Cutie patootie.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, right.
Ah, gotcha.
And thus Rainy
Sure.
Devil. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I like that they're giving an explanation for this.
Awesome.
Yeah. Couldn't bear to look at. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Or at least she could have been.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah?
Right, right, of course. She meant more to you than just like the reasoning of how that whole thing would work.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. Cool. That's awesome.
Right. That was
Like,
the fake
just-
the whole time.
Yeah. That's a really cool way to kind of give that that characterization here to confirm basically what is the proper interpretation of the previous events. Nice. The truth.
Right.
Their truth had been revealed. Yeah.
And what about you, Araragi?
Yeah. Oh wow, like Kayomi Monogatari.
Oh,
They all
yeah.
bundled in around him. Gotcha. I like how the doors all were like a form of mirrors when they all went
Oh,
into it.
sure.
Kind of to be like they all had their own individual mirrors.
Yeah, nice catch.
Yeah.
I am really curious, though, if we're going to get to see inverted Senjo.
Oh, we have to see everyone. That's like,
Yeah.
like, come on,
Be a
come on.
crime against humanity if...
Yeah,
didn't.
exactly.
So inverted Kaiki. Let's
We've
go.
gone through a lot of them. It's just a question of, will we go all the way to like inverted Kaiki or
Right.
something? That might not happen.
It would be cool, though.
That would be so freaking.
It would be
cool,
really
though.
cool.
Like, then it would be the whole thing of Kaiki's exactly the same because he's like, I never lie, you know?
Oh, yeah. And I could see it being a similar way with Meme.
Sure. I think his would be a slight deviation, a la Tsukihi, you know?
Sure. Oh. Like mayhaps Ogi?
Huh. Right. Whoa.
Oh. That could be interesting.
The non-paradoxical world.
Right.
Wow. Whoa.
Okay.
All right. So cute.
Yep. Indeed.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, just in case this is the world you just end up getting stuck in forever.
Yeah, the reverse him might only be able to write backwards.
It's like, damn it.
Okay.
Oh. 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 This isn't your room. Oh no. Oh, wow. Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, bunk beds. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool. Whoa, oh, really?
Okay. Huh.
That was... Whoa.
That's trippy. Yep.
But wow, that was a really cool way to deliver that.
Yeah.
And now I have to go look up mirrors online.
Right, right.
Oh.
This
Yeah.
Yotsugi seems fairly regular.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, shoot.
Oh. That actually exists?
Okay, the mystery is deepening.
Hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right.
Nice, nice.
Wow. Oh my God.
Inconceivable! Holy crap. Listen to the voice inside your chest.
Oh, wow. She is really laying into him.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Adding that, that bit at the end there.
Yeah. Oh.
Very different things.
Very different.
Ah.
I love that this bothered Yotsugi so much that she went to this level. Whoa!
Oh, okay.
I brushed up my skills!
It reset the character.
It's a video game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Of course not.
Aw. All right, this is wonderful. Ooh, cool.
Okay.
Oh, that was a little
Okay.
freaky.
Gotcha. Yeah. That is a pretty cool promise, though. Yeah.
So now we're actually in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
This is giving me Undertale vibes.
Okay.
Invite her to a hotel. Oh my god.
Oh my, wow.
This is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that doesn't sound like me.
Right, yeah.
How does she even know of Shinobu's existence?
Apparently Yotsugi watches the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious how Shinobu would be different, though.
Yeah. Oh, ominous. Kinda. Is this the situation where we encountered White Hanakawa?
I don't know.
Where there was the end of it, I think. Sacrilegious! Right.
Naturally, of course. Wow.
Incredibly sad. Yeah, seriously. I mean,
it's not inaccurate.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Hanakawa, sure, but Black Hanakawa, no.
So, who would, yes, just to see the reaction. Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh! So much damage.
Really? That is a good point.
That is a very good point, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that tracks that Shinobu would potentially be here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe because Black Hanakawa is still the one that's
right
here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Fireworks! Kitty!
This feels very similar to
Wait, what?
Hold on.
What is it?
Okay,
Disney?
that is very fitting for Shinobu because yes, she would absolutely live in a castle.
What? Oh my god!
She's gonna have a crown and everything.
This is amazing!
Wow, I love it.
Shinobu's a Disney princess. Oh, the gold! That is amazing.
We're requesting an audience.
And if we stay out here any longer, we're gonna get into legal trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. I love how it's just this castle was here and Araki just didn't find it for a while.
Yeah, they didn't want.
That's true.
Oh, good point. They don't want to deprive the fans of seeing, Shinobu.
Of course not.
Yeah. Oh. Huh.
Former Heart Underblade.
Okay, what's she gonna look like, dude? What?
Yeah, like I thought we'd seen all of the forms for Shinobu, but...
Oh. Oh.
But that wouldn't be a new form. I like it. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. So grand and bright, regal. Oh my.
Araragi-sama? Wait, what?
I'm getting big ara energy.
Yeah, and yet...
Yeah, potentially naked too.
She wasn't a vampire.
Oh, wait. Oh!
So since vampires don't have their shadow, she loses her shadow, and also that makes sense, because since she wanted to go back to being a little girl in the end anyways, that's basically what she chose she wanted to be. She didn't want to be a full vampire. So she had already given it up in her heart, so in this world, she's a regular person. With still the inflated ego and everything, so that she wants to actually live in a castle and whatnot.
That works so well since it's not the, reflection thing. That's why, the inversion thing is something to where it's like, no, of course.
Yeah, if it's an inversion, then yeah.
Yeah. Every living being has a inner persona, basically.
Right.
That, is their truest self. I love the idea that they basically slowed this episode down to just kind of go and be like, hey, here's how it works, but not only that, here's a, perfect perspective to their inner selves in case any of you didn't get that over the course of this show with going on the journey with all these characters, who they really were, what they really wanted, and, learning from that perfect perspective there. But okay, we're getting human Shinobu. Yeah. All right.
And Yotsugi reprogrammed herself.
All right. Okay. So we got a couple characters getting some serious focus here. I like that we kind of wrapped things up at the temple or the shrine, and then moved on to back home, and then suddenly Oikura is in Araragi's room, which is no longer Araragi's room.
It's a bunk bed situation. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yep. And that whole conversation with Oikura about mirrors and everything as she sort of drifted off to sleep was great. As like Monogatari as a show and Shaft as a studio also, I feel like both have very unique ways of sort of giving exposition about things and then portraying it in a way to make it a bit more interesting, right? Oftentimes that involves some maybe potentially fan servicey seeming bits, but in this situation, it's no, I'm going to have this character say things that are potentially very profound and very impactful on the situation at hand while they're sort of just drifting off to sleep.
Which makes it sound a little bit more eerie. Yeah. I think that was something that felt a little bit off about the whole thing, was that what Oikura was saying could have had multiple meanings, but based on what we can assume would be the most obvious type of intentions with what she chose to say and how she said it, and given that this is a world where seemingly everyone's true nature is on full display, we would assume that for the most part the words that people would actually say carry very little double meaning. They would actually be a little bit more on the this is the direct, open, honest communication that you would most want, really.
Right, that's what we've gotten from pretty much everyone except Yotsugi after she transformed.
Exactly, and we'll talk about that. But Oikura saying this sounds like Oikura, the smart mathematician, basically being like, I've looked up this kind of thing, and there is a very unique property with regards to mirrors that you can have a mirror that's like better than the other. Some mirrors reflect light better than, the average.
And what's curious about this to me is that it seems like it's introducing new mechanics then to the story of how this whole anomalous, situation works.
Right.
And yet I'm not entirely sure what the implications are, because with the loss of light, it could maybe be something where it's there's some sort of limiting factor. Araragi, not all of you will make it back, or there's some cost associated with even coming over here.
I think it's a pretty obvious one.
What?
The main thing is that when you look into a mirror and you look at yourself, you're still looking with your eyes, which require their own reflection or inversion of the image in order to process the image correctly.
Okay.
So therefore, things get blurry. Blurry meaning that anything that you perceive, you cannot actually perceive truthfully. You have to then, on some small level, even with a decent mirror, you're going to lose a little bit of that clarity, of that posterity to the image. It's like basically when you transfer an image over through different files, and every time you switch it up a bit, it loses a little bit of it.
Downgrades a little bit of it,
yeah, exactly. So in this case, it's basically I would say a form of the lesson where Araragi, your perception does not dictate reality. Just because you are in this inverted world where everyone's insides are on display, basically here,
Gotcha.
you can still get things lost in translation because you're,
Human.
no one's perfect. Yeah. Truthful doesn't necessarily mean perfect. I think that's maybe one of those things of where it's the inverted versus reflected, is that those two are very different things. And then in this case, we have him experiencing their true nature, but just because he is, they are displaying their true nature doesn't mean he is perfectly experiencing their true nature.
And even in the case of Oikura, like getting the explanation bit at the beginning of the episode of like, hey, just in case you weren't entirely sure what was going on here, yes, let's go through all the characters and basically sum up why it works, right? And and especially for someone like Suruga, I really appreciated that, because it's this is still on the inside of her, okay, that kind of surprised me, but there we go. It was a great explanation for it. But then also with the case of Oikura, this is a fundamentally entirely different person, right? And this is someone that this is not based on what's inside of her now at this moment necessarily, because Araragi doesn't know. It could be, but it seems like the most alternate universe Oikura.
Right. It felt like someone went back in time and saved her, basically.
Exactly, right. And so, this could very easily be what actually would have happened, or what is actually inside Oikura, just hidden really deep.
Right.
Or it could be something where this is Araragi's own projection
a little bit
of what he would have hoped what he wishes could have happened.
Yeah, and he did think that in the episode, so that's a good thing to make sure we bring up.
Right.
When we talk with Yotsugi, though, we find out something rather interesting, because Yotsugi comes in to be like, shh, I'm gonna go take you to see Hoshino Shinobu, and we're like,
wake up, Oikura.
we're like, oh my god, what a twist! Oh, bless you, that's awesome. Oh wait, no, this isn't a twist at all, because if it's not reflection, it's inversion.
Right.
Then, of course, Shinobu would be here.
But then also at the same time, Yotsugi, what's going on?
What's going on?
I mean, I definitely like this version of you much more than the other one. The other one was kind of terrifying, but how and why and all of that, and it's like, well, when you didn't take off my panties and various other pieces of clothing or try and grope me in any way, I was rather surprised. I was a bit concerned. I was like, okay, is this just because, you already got your fill of such lewd acts with literally every other character in this show? Or is it actually because something's going on?
Right.
And then,
so she did a self-diagnosis, which I love the idea of her going to a mirror. See?
Yeah.
And then doing the and that's amazing, because one of the things that this kind of, I would say, points at, that's just a quintessential aspect of human nature, is that we all adjust ourselves to better connect and communicate with an individual person in our environment.
Right.
So Yotsugi is like, this is weird. What's going on? I'm trying to do my banter, and he just looks like, deer in headlights.
Yep.
So I'm going to assume the problem is with me, go to the mirror and be like, what's wrong? What?
Yep.
So I love that, because it basically is the thing of where, no, I'm fine. Something's wrong with him. So I'm going to adjust me because I can't control him.
Right, but I can control me.
I'm going to change something with me and see if he reacts differently.
Yep.
Oh, he did. Oh, big brain Yotsugi.
Right.
Then she basically instigates this whole thing, brings about a whole conversation where it is a thing where she's essentially saying, I will deny myself a little bit of the truth of who I am, filter myself a little bit.
Yep.
And so I can have these little exchanges with you, and
all these wonderful little quips,
all of these digs at Araragi. It's like, man, Jesus. I mean, if you have one thing on your material for your comedy, for you Yotsugi, just keep going with it.
Like Yotsugi's,
don't back down.
Yotsugi's burns are, man, they're really something. And one of the things that surprised me about this is that she was able to revert back to this state, being in this alternate universe, right? So, how did she figure out that this was the proper way to, adjust her settings to? Maybe she didn't. Who knows, right? Or
guessed and got lucky, maybe.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. And maybe if she figured out inverting and things like that, all right, what if I were to take all of this then and put it on the inside, again, right? Yeah,
it is interesting that is something that they chose to do. That I don't know if that's just hey, this moves things a bit better with the story and stuff, because then all of her, her little jabs and stuff like that are then brought out as comedy, because we know that it still comes from the place where she's expressing the words without the emotion of the usual bit of mischievousness. So it's basically saying, no, she's still the mischievous person, in that this is how she's interacting with Araragi,
right?
But she's showing it in a different way.
Yep.
And thus, this is not some kind of flip again. We haven't left the inverted world in any way.
Right.
Like, when you went to sleep, Araragi, you did not, switch places again or something.
Yeah, Yotsugi didn't, climb through the mirror somehow and beat shit out of it.
Oikura is still up there on the bunk bed with you.
Right, exactly.
This is the same world.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then the whole idea is brought up of Shinobu, or, can we even really call her Shinobu? Or even...
Kisha de Sorolo Reinhardt Underblade.
Right.
Or the true...
Yeah, the previous, the one who, the knights who until recently said NE, right? And I love it. Yeah, it's not that Shinobu's a vampire. No. She's human.
Oh.
That's what she's chose a long time ago. It started with not necessarily it being her choice, right? But it got to the point where when she had the option, she'd rather be human. She couldn't be human entirely because of the limitations of that world, but she got as close as she could, which then, in this world where everything is inverted, where the desires of the heart are laid bare, she's human.
Yeah.
And she lives in a fucking castle because of course Shinobu does, right? Like
I wonder if this is basically like that moment where there's the canon best girl from the author's perspective, where it's just the now see,
this is where the queen lives.
might be a god,
but Shinobu
and
is the
Yotsugi
queen.
might be able to just tap into parallel universe realities at a whim. She's amazing. But the true best girl from Nisio Isen's perspective is actually Shinobu.
Yeah, and
she can even throw hands against the almighty Disney and they won't fight back,
Exactly. She's that powerful.
She's that powerful.
One of the things I'm kind of curious about, because Yotsugi mentioned, hey, there are several inconsistencies in this world, right? But Shinobu's not a vampire, and she has that castle. Now, vampires have the whole matter creation thing, right? So if she was a vampire, it makes sense that, she'd just conjure up a castle, right?
At some point when she was a vampire.
At some point when she was a vampire, because why not, right?
Yeah.
But in this alternate reality, no, it's just always been like this. It's not like there was some transition that made them like this in this universe. So Shinobu has always not been a vampire in this world.
That doesn't have to be, right?
Not necessarily, but from what's been set up, that seems to be what would be the case, right?
But then why make the point about the matter creation for the castle?
No, exactly.
So you're thinking that Araragi's a vampire?
No.
Okay.
No, what I'm thinking is that means Shinobu, through regular means of construction,
oh god,
made that castle. Because god damn it, she's going to stay in a castle.
That's
Like, and
that's funny.
And it might be one of the inconsistencies of the world that we don't need to see how the castle is made or whatever. And sure, because why not, right?
No.
But
she's just indebted to Daiki for billions because Kaiki, like, had some people make it, and she's been like, I don't know, like upkeeping it as a maid or something like that all this time. That's why she calls Aragi-sama, Or
because that's definitely very interesting. But again, the whole inverted, that's it. She thinks really highly of you, Araragi.
She does. So,
but I love the idea, given the fact that we originally were introduced to Shinobu in Bake with her wearing a helmet. I'm now picturing Shinobu in a hard hat, operating like a crane and like construction equipment, and just building the whole castle herself.
It's built though.
I know. but at some point,
she's like, I'm fixing up the West Wing. Nasty.
Right.
Stuff like that. You don't want to go there. Don't want to go there yet.
Right. But my own personal little headcanon fan fiction is that in this universe, it wasn't an inconsistency. Shinobu actually ended up creating the whole castle.
God, I love the way your mind works sometimes. It's beautiful. Because, like, there's no way in hell I would ever come up with that. Like, ever. Like, I'm still stuck on the idea of Araragi perceiving things through the glass darkly kind of thing. That whole phrase. It's so cool as a concept to basically say, like, oh, right, we have a world within every single person that never gets fully expressed because people are incapable of perfect perception and perfect expression.
Yep.
I've like wanted to like write a book about this, but in this world here, it's basically being used as a parallel world epilogue for Araragi, our main character, to get a little bit of better understanding and recap, if you will, as to what he knows and loves and cares about so much with these other people in his life.
Yep.
And yet we get scenes like this where it's like, nah, here's the Disney castle with Shinobu in it.
Exactly. Because
why
not? Why not? I don't know. But when we thought that it's like, okay, there's no possible other forms for some of these characters, because for some of the characters, it's like, okay, they have their, Black Hanakawa, regular Hanakawa, right? Maybe we get a hairstyle change, and that's that is spoilers for Monogatari, right?
Right.
Or with Tsuruga, right? We get the Rainy Devil, right? Okay, cool, awesome, love it. But with Shinobu, it's like, no, clearly, obviously, they've exhausted all possible design changes for Shinobu. Because there's just too many of them, right? All the different ones in Kizu, then her regular one that we're used to, and then the one in Nisei, and then but no.
We need those limited edition, like very specific
models and everything.
Exactly.
Just it prints money. Yeah.
This episode actually had a lot of exposition about previous things. So the one other thing that I actually feel like is kind of big that we have to discuss here is Araragi exchanging places, the second Araragi here, or is something else going on?
Right, yeah.
Because I don't think it necessarily has to be either of those two things.
And like he mentioned the idea of it being Ogi, and I don't think it would be Ogi. Because
I could see it being Ogi.
I could maybe see it being Ogi, but the thing is that then the fact that they're still addressing him as Araragi rather than Ogi would be interesting. But also, given the fact that this is taking place in the story after Owari Season 2, where he accepts Ogi and everything like that, and saves her from the darkness and everything, it's like, well, but then they would almost be like there would just be two Ogis in the regular world, right? So so what is it?
Yeah.
Is this the final legendary long hair Araragi, right? Like,
yes,
like
I want it to be something like that.
Gotcha.
Where it's basically Araragi being the one that looks through the mirror and it's blurry. When they gave us the little thing of him thinking back to when he looked in the mirror, he saw a different version of himself, and it glared back at him. Now, glaring, I think, is a strong word. If I remember actually what happened, it just kind of stared at him, and it just
didn't match up.
It just didn't match up, yeah. But one of the things that is so freaky, I would say, just inherently just so terrifying about about being a human being, I would just say in general, is the uncanny valley. Is basically when you see something that looks like you or looks human, but something is just barely off, so it just triggers your fight or flight instinct, and you're like, so he might have thought or felt that Araragi in the mirror was glaring at him, but I think what it might have been, it was just that it stared at him with this like...
With intent?
With this like perfect perception, with this idea of it being like I'm staring at you intently and focused, and it's like freaky, and also it's a thing in the mirror that doesn't match up with you.
Right, that's freaky enough as it is.
Yeah. Especially if you look back and it doesn't immediately, you're like, it's a trick of the light. I just was seeing, something, but it's actually like something different in the mirror.
Like that kind of subtle but like obvious uncanny valley stuff is the kind of thing where like, if I were to see something like that happening as a kid, it would be that moment of like, oh shit, I'm in a nightmare, and this is where things get really scary.
Exactly.
Because now you realize it, and then you're
aware.
And then your fear and subconscious takes off.
Control. Yeah.
Right.
One of the things I was thinking that they could do with this, if we don't think it's the two scenarios that we presented here previously, is that it's Araragi's recap. It's basically the who have I become?
Right.
And what will I basically get to experience through that? What ways will these characters, these people in my life, kind of show me in some ways where I have been inverted and what parts are inside?
Maybe how I've changed over the course of the journey, because
something like that, yeah.
Because this is the end continued of the end of the story, right? So it makes sense that it would be here in the narrative perspective, but also in the meta Araragi is the one telling the story perspective.
Yeah, kind of.
Because Araragi, everything's ended. Now Araragi has to think about what he's learned, basically, right? And because it's Monogatari, it's done in its Monogatari fashion with, a supernatural kind of thing happens, and then, how do you fix it, right?
Dude, the Oikura thing with the blurry bit was maybe a callback to the Koyomi Monogatari thing with the pool, and that when you look into the pool, the water is slightly moving, so you don't see it perfect. You don't see it clearly.
Okay.
I just remembered that was one of the things that they brought up when they had the pool stuff in Koyomi, is with the idea that you don't really see it exactly, but it was what was the myth about it, that you're supposed to see your soulmate or something?
And given the fact that in the previous episode that's what seemed to be set up as like this is the place where this arc will end and how Araragi will get back, but that was also back when we thought that Shinobu couldn't exist in this world. So the fact that he's meeting Shinobu here, I'm not entirely sure what that means, right? Because Shinobu is a human here, but if she's a human here, how will she be able to help Araragi? She's still going to be very knowledgeable, I'm guessing, right? But how does all of that work, right? Because if the way that they actually get back is by somehow establishing contact with otherworld Shinobu, actual Shinobu, I don't see how this will really help.
Right. So if anything, because we're not in a world of reflections, we're in a world of inversions, we need to bump into the character that hasn't been shown yet. Senjo?
Yeah. Well,
so
okay.
I think that's where this is going before we necessarily get to any kind of ending.
One of the other things that I'm now, maybe this is me just reading into things too much, but it seems like as we go through this story, we are getting introduced to characters that mean more and more to Araragi. They played a more fundamental part in the developing of him as a person, right? We started with like his sisters and things like that, and and his friends, and that's great. But then we get to like Oikura, right? Huge role in, turning Araragi into the person he is today that we know, right?
Sure.
Then we're getting Shinobu here, right? Someone who is with Araragi constantly, right? The journey that he's gone on in this story, she's been there for. She instigated, and and all those sorts of things. And then Senjo is the one that we still haven't seen yet. So if this is about Araragi realizing how he's changed as a person, then maybe that's how it ends up getting resolved, is by talking to the people that would know him in like on the deepest level, not necessarily in this world because things are different, but like, and then that's how he can go on his journey. I don't know. Like maybe I'm probably reading into that too much, but that's a pattern I saw.
Yeah, I think it's not enough variables to call it a pattern, but
Gotcha.
I see what you're getting at. Yeah, and there's a couple characters that you would maybe be more specifically, inclined to, focus on as them being the most impactful in his life and stuff.
Right. Yeah, because
when
they all have
they all had crazy levels of impact on his life. And
me just sort of showing my rankings.
Your Shinobu bias, basically.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, she was the first character in the initial timeline with regards to oddities.
The catalyst for all of the oddity stuff happening.
Right. And Oikura was even before that.
Right.
So yeah, those two very much track in that regard.
Yeah.
But okay, y'all, this is a good kind of middle bit here where we kind of get the explanation as to what aspects of the inverted world are contradictory from the mirrored idea of the world. So here we go.
The foundation is set, and now we can probably focus on the resolution
towards the resolution.
Right. Yeah. Of the
yeah,
arc.
exactly.
Yep.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about Monogatari, the show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yes. So we stream Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Mondays, we do podcasts. Tuesdays, we do One Piece dramatic manga readings.
Yes.
Wednesdays and Fridays, this guy does gaming.
Yeah, I'm playing Hades right now, and I'll be doing Cyberpunk 2077 very soon.
Right. And then on Thursdays, I do gaming, which at the moment is Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.